Hello, Facebook friends. I'm in the office of St. Louis County Councilman Dennis Hancock. I want to talk about the situation that has really exploded into public view with over the St. Louis County Animal Control Center, specifically where there was an alleged document saying that there was going to be maybe a mass euthanasia of the animals in the center. At first, the health department and County Executive Sam Page denied that such a plan or proposal existed, but later Post-Dispatch found the document in question, and it turned out to be true that there was somebody who had written a proposal that was seen by the director that did indeed talk about a possible euthanasia, a mass euthanasia of the animals after the county takes over the Animal Control Center from APA. With me right now is Councilman Dennis Hancock. First, I'm going to ask you, what's your reaction to that?
Well, Elliot, I think that it's just part of a broader pattern of things that we see all the time, and where we're told things don't exist or we can't get them, and then suddenly somehow they miraculously appear, even though we were told they don't exist. We've gone through that with trying to get sprinklers in the building. We've gone through it now with the health department over the alleged plan to do the euthanasia, mass euthanasia in the Animal Control Center. And frankly, our constituents deserve better than that, and they deserve to be told the truth, whether that's good news, bad news, whatever. They deserve to hear it, and that's the whole point behind Proposition B that's going to be on the April bill.
Did it seem like the health department was being forthcoming on this deal?
No, I think that because they told us the same thing, that there was no plan. We heard from a lot of our constituents, that they had heard rumors about such a plan. When we asked about it, we were told, no, there is no such plan. And then suddenly there is a plan.
What's your reaction to that? To your not being given all the facts going in, to start with by the department head?
Well, to me, this is where we need to hold people accountable, and that's not being done by the county executive right now. This to me, when you lie to the public, or when you falsify records, or when you ignore requests for those records in violation of the Sunshine Law, somebody needs to be held accountable for that. And to me, that's not happening here, and that's not specifically this example, but that's why Proposition B is important, is because it gives the council then the opportunity, if the county executive isn't going to hold people accountable, it gives the council the opportunity to do that.
So right now, is the health director facing any recriminations at all? You said that was another issue involving the health director at all, where she didn't suffer any recriminations.
Right. It came out last year that she had hired her daughter is in a clear case of nepotism, and nothing was done about that.
And this is when you were being prosecuted.
Exactly.
For the same thing.
So my case was going forward with the prosecuting attorney, and nothing was happening with hers.
Was she disciplined by the county executive?
No. In fact, all we heard about when asked about it, all the county executive said is we're investigating it.
So right now, if the county executive doesn't do anything about the health director over this whole animal euthanasia proposal that they now say was written by a worker, even though they admitted seeing him, so that means right now, as things stand now, nobody, if the county executive didn't do anything, nobody does anything.
That's exactly right.
Is that right? Describe what the situation is right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The council has no authority over the individual employees to do anything. We can bring them in and ask questions, but at the end of the day, there's no action that we can take to change behavior.
Right now, you've got Prop B that's going to be on the ballot. You're asking voters to approve it. Why should voters approve Prop B?
Well, to me, what we were just talking about with Dr. Cunningham is a prime example of why we need Prop B. And it has nothing to do with the individuals involved. It has to do with making sure that the taxpayers are being represented in these things. If somebody's doing something they're not supposed to do, they need to be disciplined for that. They need to be, action needs to be taken. And if the county executive chooses not to take action, there's nothing we can do as a council to change that. So what Prop B does is it gives us the ability to hold people accountable for misdeeds.
What's your view of how this administration is handling the situation with the St. Louis County Animal Control? They're taking it from APA, which by all estimates, they did a good job,
right,
and a protective association. What's your view on how the Page administration is handling this whole thing?
My understanding is that it's, they brought the APA in because of a mess that the county had created, because there was no oversight and because things were just a literal mess over there. The APA came in, cleaned everything up, took care of the building, made it livable for the animals that were there through no fault of their own. And now I think the fear is, for a lot of the supporters of the APA, is that it's going to go back to the way it was a few years ago. We're not. I pledged not to let that happen. But again, if I don't have the ability, or the council doesn't have the ability to take action against the individuals who are in charge, it's kind of an empty threat.
Well, you look at what the health department was saying. They had the health department had disbanded the volunteers and said, "Hey, you got to reapply to your job, even though you're a volunteer." But one of the things they were saying is that they wanted to make sure there was diversity in the volunteer corps. That I guess you had an adequate number of African Americans who are also walking the dogs, and that's why they wanted to dissolve the volunteers and have them reapply. What was your reaction to that reasoning?
Well, to me, the timing on the whole thing was really bad, or made it look bad. You had a group of volunteers who were trained, who were used to being there, who were giving their own time and their own treasure to make this happen, and to come in and say, "We don't want you here anymore. You can apply to be a volunteer in the new program," but the new program started before the volunteers were able to volunteer, and so it just became, to me, it was a way to deflect off off of what was going on there.
What's your reaction to that reasoning, that we want to make sure that we have a diverse group of volunteers to walk the dog, and that was the reason to?
Well, I think I agree with what I think was your assessment, that the dogs don't care what color somebody is.
That, yes.
And I think that's exactly right. If somebody wants to volunteer, great. And what happens if we don't get the right numbers of the right people? Do we hire people then to volunteer, or how do I
mean, if we don't have enough Asians,
yeah,
or any Indians, anybody, I guess. Did that seem like strange reasoning?
Well, it absolutely does, and I think it gets back to, on a broader scale, maybe part of the whole woke culture that we continue to see. That if people want to be people and want to volunteer, great. To me, it doesn't really matter what they look like or what their background is or anything else, as long as they don't have something in their background about abusing animals.
Abuse, yeah.
Yeah. Then I think we should welcome them, whoever they are, to help us out and to help take care of these animals.
So we've seen it in a few cases. We've seen in a few cases where you've had a battle with Sam Page over an issue like with the county counselor, for example. I mean, you guys have had run-ins with the county counselor, and obviously that person's hired by the county executive, and so sometimes you've had to go out and hire your own lawyer because that you didn't get fair representation. Would Prop B allow you to take action against the county counselor as well?
Yeah, my understanding is that Proposition B would apply to any director level position in county government. That would include the county counselor. It would not include the chief of police, and I think that misinformation is out there. The chief of police reports to the Board of Police Commissioners. He's hired by the Board of Police Commissioners, and they're responsible for that person. So the council nor the county executive would have any sway over that particular position.
Say that once again. You're saying some people think it would apply. You're saying some people think that would give you power to get rid of the chief of police, but it doesn't. It wouldn't.
That's correct. The council, if Proposition B passes, would not have the ability to terminate the police chief because the police chief doesn't report to the county executive. The police chief reports to the Board of Police Commissioners, and that's who hires them. So that would not be a part of this at all. However, other department heads, the county councilor, the director of transportation and public works, those folks would theoretically be under the scrutiny of the county council at that point.
And you guys have had to spend a lot of tax dollars when you would have to rely on the county councilor to represent you. You've had to go out and get your own lawyers, haven't you, on some occasions?
Well, we have, and that's one of the things that the voters approved in November was allowing us to hire our own attorney, and we've subsequently done that because what we were finding is that information we were being given was not accurate in some cases.
You mean by the county councilor?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And the county councilor, according to the charter, was supposed to represent all county employees. Well, when we've asked questions, the answer we get, well, you don't get an answer to that because there's litigation around this, and it's, well, you're my attorney. How come I can't get an answer on it? And then if the council, and as has happened in the past, the council and the county executive have been at loggerheads over issues, well, the response from the county councilor has been in favor of the county executive over the council. And it's is that as they used to say in the Old West, is that a hanging offense? I don't know. But I think it certainly gives us an opportunity to look at things a little differently.
The county executive was part of this, Prop B, but he was dropped. Why?
Well, as an elected official, my job performance gets evaluated every 4 years by the people who hired me. No, it's the voters. I think that, just from my perspective, I think including the county executive would have probably been an overreach. And I think it probably would have been, in the courts and years and more taxpayer dollars spent on lawyers. That probably didn't need to happen.
It's in the courts anyway, isn't it?
Well, it was in the courts, but now it's not. There was a group of employees who brought a lawsuit to try to take it off the ballot. That went all the way to the state Supreme Court, who sided with the council that no, this is on the ballot now, and it's going to stay on the ballot. And so we'll leave it up to the ultimate jury, which is the voters.
And so once again, finally, you believe that this situation with animal control and the health department director that's over this unit, you're saying this is one of the prime reasons you think that Prop B might be needed?
I think so, and I think that it like I said, it allows us to bring accountability to folks that are well-paid employees who don't answer to the council.
How much does guys get paid?
Well, a lot of these folks are upwards of $175,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice living. And in fact, they get paid more than the county executive does.
So you're saying they should have to answer?
They should have to
somebody besides the county executive.
Exactly. And as far as the county executive's contention that it's confusing if people have more than one boss, I've had more than one boss most of my adult life. So you learn how to work through people. And and I know that, and I'm sure most people are this way, if my boss's boss comes to me and says, I need you to do this, it gets done. And I'll tell my boss I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So I think that if this is a unique situation for these folks, then maybe they need to spend some time in the real world and learn how to deal with that situation. But to me, it's not us out trying to get anybody. And I think that there's a sense that that's what we're trying to do, and this is all about one person or an individual or some situation. No, this has been in discussion for a while, and it's just now come to the forefront, and we've we've decided now's a good time to take action and see if the voters agree with us and are of a mind to approve it. And if they are, wonderful. And if not, we'll figure it out.
What would it take to get rid? What would it take to get rid of a department head?
It would take five votes on the 7-member council. So it's not just something we're going to come in one day and say, you know, we don't like the way this person wears their hair, so we're going to get rid of them. It's going to take a concerted effort. It's going to take, you have to make a case. This person will get a hearing in front of the council. And so I think it's not going to be just a witch hunt and we get rid of everybody and throw the whole county into a lurch. At the same time, I've always felt like not firing somebody that deserved to be fired is probably the worst reason because it's going to be difficult to replace them, is the worst reason not to take action. So I think we need to be studious about this. We need to take, if a situation arises that we decide to take action, then I think we need to study it. We need to give them their due and due process and make sure that we aren't doing this just on a whim.
All right, Councilman Dennis Hancock. Councilman, thank you for talking to me.
Sure.
Basically, just to wrap it up, I had actually opposed Proposition B, and I wrote a post vehemently opposing it, saying that the council was just a power grab, and it was an overreach, and it was unnecessary. That's what I said in my post. But the whole situation with animal control, that prompted me to do an about face. As a wise man said, when the facts change, I change my mind. Here we had a situation where the county executive and the health director were both telling the public that a euthanasia proposal did not exist. And they vehemently said that until the Post-Dispatch reporter actually dug up the document talking about the euthanasia plan. The health director admitted that she had seen that plan. Well, did she see that plan when she was being questioned and asked asked about it? Well, probably, maybe. But the plan did exist, and they were, her and Sam Page, both insisting that no such proposal existed when it did exist, and that's what the public was being told, and the public was not being told the facts. But apparently, nothing is going to happen to the health director. We haven't heard where Paige is thinking about taking any action against her, so she'll be able to keep their job, even with this monumental faux pas on the part of the administration and the health department director and the county executive. Health department director keeps her job and rolls on. Then I saw Prop B in a different light. I said, well, if Prop B were here, then the county could get rid of the health director. At least that would be another measure that can be taken. And so it kind of opened my eyes, and I said, well, maybe the council does need that power. Now I agree, the council does need that power. Councilman Hancock explained why the county executive's name was taken out. Originally, it was supposed to include the county executive. His name was taken out. Dennis Hancock says, well, the county executive is an elected official and voters can decide what they think about him. Voters, his ultimate boss, can have their say every 4 years. Department heads, different matter. Like I said, I've changed my mind on Prop B. I now think it's a good idea. At first, I had my doubts, but the way the administration and the health department director and even Sam Page have approached this issue dealing with the euthanasia issue and the way the public was misled on it, I think there should be another power out there that can get rid of department heads who are involved in things like this. But apparently nothing's going to happen to this health director unless Prop B passes. Then we might see something else. Anyway, I'm not afraid to change my mind, guys. In this case, changing my mind on Prop B, I now think it's a good idea and it's needed. I'm going to stay on top of this. My Facebook friends.